Okay, we can start.
Okay. Good evening, parents. Welcome to another webinar together. This webinar is about learning from home during blended time. I know many of you felt that we are giving less importance to the students who are going to be on a virtual model. However, we definitely do not give less attention or importance to our students who are at home. We value them as much as our learners at school. Yet there were a lot of logistics and decisions to make concerning this model because it is a little tricky and it needed to have different perspectives and views before we make our decisions. For tonight's webinar, I have with me Ms. Lynn Dergaus, our early years head, Ms. Rawan Adawi, who's our ICT.
Hello, can you hear me, everyone?
I can hear you, Rawan.
It's okay. I think it's a power cut. It's okay. We will continue just a couple of minutes. Do you want to continue the introduction, Ms. Lynn?
Sure. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the webinar, as Ms. Maha was mentioning. She was introducing me. I'm the early years head for those who don't know me. And we have Ms. Ola Aitani, our PYP coordinator with us, and Ms. Rawan, our ICT teacher and ICT support as well. So we are going to talk then what is going to happen, and we will also hear, of course, if you have any questions. I'd like to point out that you can we cannot hear you, but you can type your questions in the Q&A on the Q&A icon, and we will answer you as soon as possible. What else?
Ms. Maha will be joining us very soon.
Okay.
In the meantime,
We can.
show the parents a little tour if you want on Teams or anything that you want. What do you think, Ms. Maha, Ms. Lynn, Ms. Ola? What do you want to do?
I can start with a quick introduction before Ms. Maha starts.
Perfect.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ala, so I'm also part of the team that is leading this webinar today. As Ms. Maha said and Ms. Lynn also explained, that the purpose of having the groups, part of them being streamed, the sessions being streamed to a group that is already at home with a group that is already in class, is one of the main reasons is not to change the groups of the students, and for the students to keep the same groups that they have been working with since the beginning of the year. And there are also a different different levels of logistics in terms of later on for the bus transportation, for to make sure that they are still with the same teacher. They are already building relationships with the teachers and with the group of students. And in case the child chooses, if you choose to have your child later on join the on-site learning, it will not take a lot of time to move from on behind the screen to actually in front of the in the classroom. So to make sure that the student has access regardless of the environment that he or she is in. So I don't know if Ms. Mahaw, you would like to continue from there.
Thank you. And I would like to thank the team. Really, it's so nice when you work in a team. I continued on my phone as an attendee and it went so smoothly. Again, I apologize. There was a cut in the power at work. So basically, as Ala was saying about the rationale behind the streaming decision, and I don't want to call it just streaming. It is an interactive streaming, and honestly, seeing it happen with nursery and KG1, even when we planned it, we did not expect it to go that beautifully. So I witnessed today a French lesson through the screen in nursery, and teacher looking at the screen, talking to some of the students on the screen, and then some in the classroom. Same for KG1B, for the child who was having a snack with his friends, but sitting at home. Yes, some of you might be worried about the students' well-being and how will they feel about it. I believe that it's also for our students, it's going to become a normal. It's going to become, it's fine, let's do it. I'm sure at some point they're going to be feeling the need to be in the school as well. Why is everyone here or not yet? And we will have to tackle case by case, and I'm sure our counselors will support us with this point. It was very important for us to keep the communities as close as possible, particularly that the blended model, even if we wanted to continue as long as possible, and we are putting a lot of procedures in place to ensure it will continue. It might stop at any point. It might stop because of, for example, the lockdown that happened like a few days ago when they announced 111 town to be closed. And we're glad it was not Beirut, but if it was Beirut, we would not have the option to stay open. So at this point, we would have gone back to virtual. And for us to have, and the students first, to have a smooth transition between the blended and virtual due to this year and exceptionality of this year, I will say, we need to be using this model. So basically, the students will receive a schedule for the blended model. I know nursery and KG1 already received it, and they will be following the same schedule, whether at school or at home. So we need to consider them as one group of students, regardless of the physical location. It's one group who is working together. Even if sometimes there's a screen between us, it's totally fine. We can still work around it. The students at home will follow the schedule from 7:30 to 1:30 as the student on campus. For the early years, nursery to KG2, they will have 2 1-hour blocks where they have their snack and outdoor play. I would recommend snacks are streamed, so they can sit and have the snack with their friends in the classroom through the screen, and they can talk to them, interact with them. But it is optional. So if you feel that for your child it's not the best setting, they will not feel comfortable, you might opt to take them out of it. For the outdoor play, we will not be for the outdoor play, it doesn't mean that we will not going to be streaming, but what we're going to be doing is we will ask our families at home, if possible, if there is a caregiver and a space, to take them outdoor, because it's very important for them to take them outdoor. Now, one question that will be asked is about, but my child is young and they will have to be seated for a long time on a screen. We would like to say that depend on the children, because from our experience so far, from the beginning of the year till now, we saw that some students are doing really well, and taking this away from them might limit them, while others really need that. And doesn't mean because a child is smarter than other. It's not related to this. It's about the focus, it's about the stamina, it's about the learning style of this child as well. So all we're going to do is that we're going to we're going to do work with every family separately, the families who are facing problems with our blended learning and having the child sit for long hours, and decide together with our curriculum coordinator what are the sessions that are very important for them, and what are the sessions that, okay, we can make it up later on at some point, because we don't know how long the session is, this period is going to be. We don't know how long the virtual learning is going to be, but definitely we want to accommodate everyone, and definitely we want our classes to remain one community, and we want our students to have one teacher that they are used to, that they're building these strong connections, because we truly believe that strong connections make learning much easier. We always say with the teachers, our trainings, most of our professional development are based on bonding with the child before being able to teach a child, because a child will not open up, will not learn, regardless of how smart a child is, if they don't have this connection of trust and this connection of, I care about you, I want you to learn, I want to help you. You can just make mistakes, you can just act the way you need to act in order to grow in your learning journey. So basically, this is, I did this session to explain this mainly, but I don't want to be talking much because I would like to have the opportunity to answer your questions. So if any of my colleagues, if you can read me with the questions if you have.
Yes, we have one question. Should the students at home keep his or her camera on as well during this live streaming?
Yes, we prefer that the students have their camera on because we really want them to consider themselves as part of the classroom. They're not just watching. They're not passive. They are very active members, and their contribution to the classroom is as important as the students in the classroom. So the more we make it serious for the students, the more they will believe that it's serious, and the more they will consider it as a learning experience that I really need to be involved in. So we definitely would like your support on this. We started by using AirPods and teachers using AirPods, but then from just one day of experience, we're leaning toward not using AirPods most of the time, so other students can hear the contribution of the students that are at home and be able to interact together. So we don't want to just do it to do it. We want to make it a successful learning experience for everyone, regardless of where they are.
Yes, Ms. Maha, we have another question. Would blended sessions include ESL? So those children who need the support can get it during the week they attend school in person?
Yes, so students who have different needs, so whether they are in the ESL program or in the Learning Diversity program, and it's already started, we are inviting them to come on campus for pull-out sessions, for additional pull-out session face-to-face, because we believe that these students need that extra support that the programs offer them. We will continue doing them during the blended, but during the asynchronous weeks where they will be invited to attend their sessions. And we will be communicating with you how it's going to be for every child.
Okay, we have another question. Actually, it's a concern. We are worried about the engagement and attention from teachers.
I agree with you. It is. I'm not going to sit here and say it's something very simple or we are very used to it. However, seeing the number of students in the classroom and the number of students that are live, particularly if we split them among their sections, we have around like 4 students who will be on the computers, and then not even 12, like few classes, maybe 1 or 2 that will have 12 students in the classroom. Students will be sometimes engaging with their teachers, but other time will be engaging with their friends, even to a point where we might be doing a group between students in the classroom and students at home. It is a learning process. I'm not going to sit and claim that we've tried it, we've done it. We've just read what other schools are doing as we did before. We try to find the best models that fits our needs, fits our context, fits our community. As we are going, we will definitely refine our model, and we will try to make it as engaging as possible as we did in our virtual, because even the virtual before we used to, if I remember your questions at the beginning of the virtual learning, you always ask, but how are you going to have a young child be engaged through lessons? And I would like to say that thankfully to the teachers, honestly, not to us, or definitely with the guidance of their curriculum leaders, we were able to have the teachers jump and dance and sing and prepare engaging lessons that really we had great feedback about our virtual lessons. So I just ask you at this point to trust us, to work together, continue to work together on this, because I know that we will need to refine. I know that we will need to improve, and we always take your constructive feedback very seriously. But we need at this point to see what is the best situation during this time. Like, I know there's no situation that's perfect. We know this. But what can we do to make it the best for our children? Because we all have the same intentions in mind. We all want them to learn, but at the same time to their well-being to be okay. So we cannot forget also about the emotional and social factor and just focus on the academic. So it's a balance of both. I just want to answer the questions that I saw before, Aline, about the authorization from the ministry. The ministry told everyone that they can open starting the 12th of October. But we are using these days as adaptations for our little students. So nursery and KG1, it's more of their adaptation days. We are even on different schedules, so they're leaving at 12, they're not staying until 1:30, and it's more about getting used to school. So that's why we're allowed to be open during that week. But definitely, I'm sorry, but definitely, we will not be able at any point to go against the ministry's decision. And this is when a lot of you ask me, but why are you going to blended? Why don't you stay virtual? Your virtual is so good. We cannot. If the ministry, we are part of the country. If the and we report somehow to the ministry. So if the ministry asks us to open, we have to open even if it's one student on campus. Lynn?
Yes. During the blended model, the virtual class schedule is to be completely disregarded, and students at home will follow the exact same schedule as in the classroom. If you want to elaborate more on the timetables.
Yeah. So basically, yes, they will be disregarded, but not thrown away, because the minute we say that tomorrow it's virtual, because of, hopefully we will not have to do it, but if we have to do it at some point because of, God forbid, a case on campus and we have to close the school for a certain number of students, so we're trying to trace. So don't think that every time we have a case of COVID-19 that the whole school is closing down, because we are really working on tracing the exposure. But once we say that tomorrow we're going to be virtual because of a lockdown, let's say, because of anything else, then the students will go back to their virtual schedule. So and if you use the website, the PYP community website, it really shows you exactly every day. So you don't have to guess. All I ask you to do is to check it in the morning. I update it usually maximum by 7, but usually it's before 7 that I update the website, I update the date, and it will say what type of learning, what model, is it blended, is it virtual, is it what week is it, and what day it is. Now, it's not that you're going to wake up one day and surprise, it's virtual. I mean, I'm sure you would have heard from the news, or if there is a case that we need to report, we usually email you and tell you that a case was, and we will give you, of course, the nurse will be providing you more information about what does it mean, what impact it has on you. I just ask us as a community, as I'm asking our teachers, to be take everything very objectively and not to panic. We need to help each other not to panic, because even if it happens, we know that even if on the news it sounds sometimes very dangerous, and I'm not underestimating at all the COVID-19 impact. Anyways, I'm not a medical expert and cannot claim to be, but I have to ask everyone in the community to, at any point and before we get to this point, to, once we have it, to remain calm and to think about, okay, the different scenarios, because I don't know about you, but I know many of us already have gotten through these situations where very close, maybe family members got it, maybe, and we had to go through confinement, through testing, through all this. But I believe that the calmer we take it, the more we provide our little ones with this safety and security that they have been craving. To a point where I have to share with you, but today I was bringing a nursery child inside the school in the morning. Their parents dropped them in, and I took him and I was walking with him, and he saw a board that we have about prevention and corona, but it had the corona like symbol or something, and he looked at me and he said, "Oh no, corona is coming, I don't want corona anymore, I want school." And I said, no, this is to try to keep corona away from school. But you can see how much it's affecting our little ones, and how much we want to try to make them feel safe and secure again, hopefully.
Ms. Maha, and maybe somebody that joined later on, they would like you to please elaborate on the structure of the interactive streaming. Where will the cameras be placed? How will the student interact exactly? And will they see the class or the teacher? Can you please explain in details?
Okay. So we have been testing the different angles in different classes, and honestly, depending on the age, we are making the decision of the angle. And sometimes the angle changes based on the activity. So we have been playing around with the cameras to better understand. They will definitely see the students, they will see the teacher as well. So this is our aim, to give them a big picture, I mean, of what's happening in the classroom, but ensuring also that they can have access to a clear audio and they can contribute and raise their hands. Basically, this is it for the cameras. What I can say if we're going to start with every class and try it out. We started today with nursery and KG1, and as I mentioned before, we were impressed. I mean, I hope the people at home were impressed as well, but it was nice to see that interaction. We reflected on it by the end of the day. Like we said, oh, okay, maybe we put the camera on this computer because it's closer to that area where you sit mostly. So we are having these conversations after we're trying them out. But definitely students were included, students were being asked. Even Dean went around the classrooms and she was talking to the students at home through the camera, like we were welcoming our students here. And I know that many of you feel so frustrated about your decision of keeping your children at home. But I just don't want anyone on any side to feel like, okay, maybe I'm making the wrong decision. At this point, I don't think there's right or wrong decision. I think it's your choice, it's your right, and we're here to respect it. We will definitely try our best to make it as fair to everyone and as engaging as to everyone. As I said before, and particularly for the younger grades, the teachers will be sending you the week before the materials that they will need in order for the students to participate and have more of a hands-on experience. Definitely, we will not go and ask you for very sophisticated materials. Mostly it's going to be stuff from around the house, but it is important to have them so they're more and more engaged and not just sitting. Now, if you know of any friends who attend the same and they're seeing each other's for play date and they are Wellspringers too, so I also can recommend that they can participate in the lesson from one home if it's possible, or if it's something that works for you guys, because that way they have this experience of having someone to learn with at home. But I know that this might not be possible for every family.
Somebody's asking, will the interactive streaming stay as an option for the entire school year?
The streaming of the lessons. Okay. For now, definitely they are staying. I can say they are staying until we understand what's happening with the whole COVID-19 situation. A lot of parents, we committed to them to have virtual for the whole year because they are outside of the country. So if you are one of these families, we know we were informed from before, and we will try to, we have to accommodate. I cannot give an answer for a big number at this point because this is a decision more about, I need to talk with the head of school and even the board and everyone to see what their reasoning. From what we're seeing, honestly, unfortunately, we don't think we are going to a full face-to-face anytime soon, because we cannot do it unless we find unless they find a vaccine for COVID-19 and they give a green light to, okay, let's go. And I think from my understanding is that they're going to go by turn or priority in terms of who receives the vaccine. So it's going to take some time before we can come back. We are definitely ready to come back, even if they say tomorrow it's we found it, you're fine, go, but we don't see it like in our planning. And from what we're hearing from the experts in the field, the medical experts in the field, we don't see it happening. So most probably this is the settings that's going to happen. Now in January, there will be a reassessment like in Christmas break, let's say the winter break, there will be a reassessment of the programs in terms of, okay, if it's really continuing for long, if we are blended, we might be fine. If we are virtual, maybe we have to go back to the longer hours, because that we did between grade 1 and grade 2, because we also need to ensure that our curriculum is really being covered, and then the gaps that we have are not too big, that we will not be able to catch up for the next year. Because for now we're still fine. For now we're still trying to pick from our curriculum what's important, or what will not be covered in the year to come, or what's a pre-requirement for this year to be able to learn other concepts a year after. But at some point we will have to be going to longer hour, particularly with grade 1 and 2, not with the older ones, because we are fine on this. And we hope that by that time students are more used to the system, so they can transition easier to longer hours. Hopefully we will be able to continue on blended and not go back to that, but we have all options out to ensure that that we are well planned.
If there are enough students in a classroom that are staying home, would it be possible to keep one of the groups virtual as it is now and the other group blended?
We honestly thought about it and tried it. We have until now around maximum 15 students per grade level, not even making one section. And the thing about it is that if we try and we have the students have another person, let's say one of our anchoring teachers, because of course our teachers will be, all of them will be on campus because they will have groups here. So once they go back to virtual, we have to go back into, okay, what section do they go to? What will happen then? Who's reporting on the learning, who's as a PYP school, we have also the requirement, which I'm sure Ala can tell you more about it in other meetings, but we have a lot of requirements in terms of evidencing learning, in terms of, yes, we are teaching, but are the students learning? Who's reporting on learning? How are you tracking progress if the child is every time with a different teacher? So there are a lot of restrictions that also we have on this side, and also for the students. So if I want to think of the students themselves and having their online learning, not having enough hours like the students who are on campus, because definitely in a virtual setting we do not, it's not as intensive, regardless of how long they sit on the screen. We cannot, particularly with elementary students, to make it as intensive as we do it when they are with us at school. So we will have two groups of students who will be on different learning journeys. Like they will be, the virtual one definitely will be much behind than the students who are on campus, and particularly that the teachers need to be split among a student, a virtual group and a campus group. So we really put all these options out there, and I know that many of you would have wished to continue the virtual as is. But when we assign a teacher to a certain position, we really think of a lot of qualification of this person, even when it's section, not even grade level, particularly with a group of students. So we usually pick the teachers based on the group of students that is in this section. So all these will matter and will impact the learning. We can't just find any teacher and put that teacher to do virtual. Then I will try to think about how fair this is. My only option is that if we do, if we have like around 24 students in a grade level, where I can remove one homeroom teacher and create a whole new section, but that means that the students will have different sections. They're going to start from 0 and go to this section and continue the year within the sections. That means The students who are virtual will not have the option to go back to blended, which right now we are offering it because we are allowing you to change your mind in terms of, okay, I feel comfortable, or there's something safety out there that I feel more comfortable about it, or the opposite. Oh no, I don't feel safe now, or my family is going through something, or there's a case in our family, my child cannot attend the school. It's not going to really impact them because they will be at home and they will be continuing their lessons. Again, the question about how will the virtual learning grade Q students sit from 7:30 till 1, I will say first we have a break in between. Second, we will have small group time where the students can work even virtually together in small groups, so it's not there. And if it is an extreme case when a really child cannot sit, we are ready to make, like we do, individualized plans usually for students to learn. We can also look in each case and see what can the child do, what can the child not do at this point, and how can we have a plan for the future to make it up. So we will really have to look at each case and make these decisions. As I said before, it might be longer, and we even thought about picking some lessons to stream and others not to stream. However, we want to be fair to everyone, and some students will be okay sitting for longer periods and watching all the stream lesson and participating in them, while as others will not and will not do it. So we need to evaluate as we go. If we feel that some children or a group of children, not only just one, feel that okay, they're not able to do it, then we will pick the ones and we will tell you on each schedule which one that are a must for the child to watch and to participate in virtually, and which one they are okay. If they cannot tolerate that much, don't worry about it, we will make it up that way. So please, let's work together. Let's try to see how things will go, because it's going to be a long period of time, and we want to ensure that the students who can learn more to be able to have this opportunity to learn more. The students who cannot handle it, we will respect their pace and we will try to see how we can make it up. So we're really ready to work with each case separately. Okay, not having the virtual after the blended, it's because our teachers need to plan a lot. Honestly, I have to be also fair to the teachers. When you do virtual and you do blended at the same time, it's a whole different way of tackling things and handling things. And for the teacher to work from 9 to 11:30 and then from 12 till the end of the day. And then I can't imagine when are they going to plan even, and we're talking about a primary years program. It's a program that has very high expectations from the teachers. We also need to like I look at our students, our parents, there's also the side of the teacher of, it will not be good to anyone to have teachers who are burning out because they cannot handle it anymore. And we have to be realistic on what we're asking our teachers to do, because the hours that we are saying between 9 and 11:30 of blended, we need to not even double it, even more, to plan for these activities to be so engaging. Like when we receive the feedback about the sessions have been so engaging, I have to say that behind the scenes, there are so many hours of preparation and planning and collaboration and tears happening and a lot of this. And I'm being very, very, very honest with you all, to be able to get to this high caliber of learning engagement. It will not be possible to ask a teacher to have blended for that long and then move to virtual and then have a teacher who can continue with us in that journey. It will be really very, very tough to ask them. It's like asking them to work 17, 18 hours a day if I want this model to happen, which we cannot ask our teachers to do. Particularly that with like everyone else, like the parents, how involved, how they kept their energy and their enthusiasm within everything that's happening. Our teachers are going through the same thing as well, and I'm really very grateful to have them also be able to keep their smile, be able to provide the students with these moments, not only learning moments, but also moments where you see children really laughing, children really smiling. If you, I don't know if you were able to attend any of our live streaming today, but you can see the happiness, regardless of where the children are, the laugh, the smile, and those are for us as important as academic and the content. Okay, I see that there is a question about October 17th. I honestly cannot predict what will happen. If we can come to school, we will remain open as long as there's no decision for us to close from the ministry. We will remain open and we will accommodate as many students as they come. The good thing, the difference between last year and this year, I would say, that before when we used to close, we were not as ready and students will not be able to continue just from home. Now they will be able to just be at home, not take the risk and continue their lessons. We will be communicating with you as things get closer, but hopefully I'm hoping that dates will not change, because we really need these dates. We really need to start switching to the blended, because for us it's not an option. For us it's the ministry's decision and request, and whether we postpone it or not, it's going to happen. So better build this routine the sooner possible. Okay, so the question related to the assessment and affected by those staying at home, what we're trying to do is we're trying to have check-in times from time to time with between the teachers and the students staying at home. So because our teachers finish their classes at 1:30, we are hoping to have at least once per week where the teacher check in with the child, particularly the homeroom teacher, and the Arabic. If it's not weekly, it could be bi-weekly, to assess their learning and do a quick reteaching if there is something that's not that they were not able to grasp. So this is the time where we are trying to compensate for our students who are at home. Any other questions, Lynn, Ala, if you see, or Rawan, if you see any that I'm...
I think, Smaha, you have answered all the questions. There's one question about, will the sessions be recorded?
Okay, the sessions will, by default, the sessions will not be recorded unless there is a request because a family is in a different time zone. Then we will be definitely recording them. So like we're doing right now in our virtual. So there are some classes where we're recording the sessions because parents are not on the same time zones. If we feel at some point that our younger students particularly really cannot attend and they need that time where they are off the screen and they watch it on a different time, we will have no problem recording them. So it will be a decision that we will make as we're going. It's not a no, but also it's not a yes by default. It depends on the need. It is an option out there. And definitely if you feel that your child is not keeping up and you feel that the recording is helpful for them, please do let us know. We're ready to work on this.
One more question. Yes. Do you think students staying at home will require constant grown-up supervision during the day? This is grade 2.
I will say depending on the child, honestly. Definitely they will not need learning assistance because this is something that we try to do through our program, but I have to talk to the family and see the child's situation, because I know our learners are very different, and some students will be able to handle it with minimal supervision, where others will need more supervision. Definitely, I will not say they need a tutor at home. In most cases, this is not the case because this is what our teacher's role is. During the asynchronous week, when students are not engaging in synchronous lessons, this is where we're hoping we are assigning one teacher to each grade level, and this is what has been happening with KG1 and nursery. The teacher, a teacher anchoring teacher will do a meeting with the students at 9 a.m. and then a morning meeting that is mandatory for everyone. And then she will do another one at 11 a.m. as a check-in. During the day, students will know to call this person for help. You can, as parents, request some support for your child. It could be whether a small group or one-on-one, depending on the needs. But definitely we're here to support, to reteach during that week. So we are really appreciating this week of asynchronous learning, where students can somehow not only catch up, but also have the opportunity to apply their learning. Now, if you feel that your child will benefit from the recordings during this week, then please do let us know, do contact us, because then we can record these sessions and they can watch them on their own time or rewatch them during that time to be able to really grasp the concepts that are being taught.
Smaha, there is a question about if there's a possibility to group the students who are at home in another, like all together in one group, in one of the groups. Okay. I think it will be very difficult because the balance across groups will not be the same, and the fact that the students who are at home versus the students who are in school, the number is not constant. So we will have students moving back and forth between on-site and virtually. Had we had the confirmation that it is full virtual till the end of the year or full on-site to the end of the year, that would have been another case. But the fact that we are trying to keep it fluid, even if we put them all in one group now, this might not be the case in 1 week or two.
Yeah. Thank you, Ala. Yeah, I would agree with it, particularly when we have back and forth, and particularly when we have different situations. It's not good for your children. It's not just not good for us. It's not good for their learning. In each group, just to give an estimation, so you might have like 9 students in the classroom, while 4 or 3 might be on the screen, depending on the sections, as Lynn said in her answer. On the section, it might be that we have more students or less students online. The problem is that if we move even your child, if you feel that your child will do better because there are more students virtual in a different section, the problem is once they decide to come to school, we cannot have more than a certain number of students in class. So we have to go and put them back in their other group, which they might find it difficult to adjust. But anyways, do talk to us. I always suggest and encourage you to come to us with your particular situation. We believe that every learner is different, and as I hope we are showing that we're trying to accommodate as much as possible each situation, because we know how difficult these times are on everyone, not just on us, but definitely on you as well. Any other questions?
No, I think that's it. Can the parents change their child from blended to virtual for some reasons? Yes, of course. And this is the one of the main reasons why we did not change any groupings A and B. So just to keep that as a constant.
And we are reserving their spot. So even if they are at home, their spot at school is reserved. Because it's very important for us to ensure that we have the balance. So, but also we need to understand that we cannot force someone to come to school if they don't feel comfortable at this point. And at the same time, if there is a case at home, we don't want them to feel that, oh no, but we have to go to school because this is what the school is making us do. So it's going to be a lot of back and forth between blended and virtual. Again, I say, I hope We will not have a lot who will have to go back to home instead of being on campus, but I need to be realistic and I need to be planning, we need to be planning according to this situation. Okay. We know how difficult it is for you guys to keep your children at home, and I know maybe you have a guilt feeling, and even the parents who are sending to school are also maybe thinking that, okay, but am I making the right decision? Am I putting my child's life into danger? I know it's not an easy decision as a parent right now. It is tough, and regardless of the decision, we do not judge it. We respect it. We know that you come from different contexts, from different settings. You have different circumstances that you're dealing with. We do respect. We just try to accommodate everyone. I just want to say that I'm sorry if sometimes we disappoint in our decisions, but you know, it's not easy to be able to cater every situation. We try to make accommodations for children on a one-on-one basis, but our big decisions need to accommodate most of our population, and sometimes it's not the best option for everyone. So I do truly apologize, and I wish I always say I wish I have a magic wand to make everyone happy. But one thing I can ensure is that really the intentions are there. I know from all sides in our community, from the teachers, from the leaders, from the parents, and this is what matters most. We all want the best for them. Okay, we will be evaluating as we're going. I will not even say after how many weeks. I need to see, depending on the grade, depending on the section. We started evaluating nursery and KG1 from the first day of implementation, because there are some decisions that wait, and there are some decisions that we cannot make right away because we need a certain time of implementation before we can judge. Actually, I had a teacher today answering me that question when I said, how was your day today? And she said, I don't feel comfortable. And I really respect this answer. She said, I don't feel comfortable answering the question right now because I need enough time to better understand the frustration. Are they really frustrations, or are they just we need them, it takes time to adjust. So even our community is very reflective in terms of, okay, we need to give it time, we need to reflect, we need to see when we go into the routine, what will happen. However, we are constantly asking questions, we are constantly looking at our practices, and because there are decisions that we cannot wait on. So if there is some kind of I don't know, but some decisions might not wait. Some decisions, if we feel that it's really harming in certain way, or maybe it's really being not effective, we need to make even a temporary change, we will have to do it. So just because I don't want to answer this question, you can trust that we are evaluating. If you would like to talk about it with me, about the evaluation, how it goes, I'm ready. Please do email me, and I'm ready to give you a call when I have enough data. So because now I feel that honestly, as I told you before, when we put that idea on papers, I was very, very scared. I couldn't imagine it. For me, it's very new, and I cannot say I'm an expert in it. But then when I saw it happen, I saw it today happen in nursery and KG1 classes. I couldn't believe it. I was like watching them from my office, but just to see the students' perspective at home. So I sat in my office, I put it on, and as I said, yes, we had to tweak some things, but I would not have imagined it to go so smoothly for the first day. So of course, it's a lot of thanks to you as well. Same for the asynchronous week. Asynchronous week, I saw nursery and KG1 conducting their meetings, and today one of the KG1, I believe, was sharing letter S with their anchoring teacher in the check-in meeting. And it was so beautiful to see KG1 students sitting on the computer and so comfortably talking in front of the screen. While at the beginning of the year, if you remember, we all looked at each other's parents, teachers, and leaders, and he said, what are we doing to our little ones? How can they do it? So, you know, I think there is a positive side of all this, really. It's not just because I'm pretending to be positive. I strongly believe that there is a positive side and that there's something very beautiful that we will look back to when this period passes. But I'm sure it's not easy. It's not. I say I had to report to the board, and one thing I said behind the scenes, it's been challenging. On stage for the students, it's been pretty well. So we hope to continue like this. I think I don't see any other questions. The session is recorded, so you can go to our website. It will be posted in a few hours. Once the download is ready, we will post it on our website. If Rawan, if I may, I ask you if you can type the website again in the announcement, so everyone has.
Miss Lynn already did that.
Okay. Thank you so much, Lynn. And I don't know, Lynn, Ala, Rawan, anyone, if you'd like to add anything before we end this session?
No, for me, no. I just want to thank the parents for their support and their always constructive feedback. And that's it for me. I don't know about you, Lynn.
Thank you everyone for attending, and I would like to say we are here to support and do what we can to help you out, and we are in this together. So keep letting us know how it's going and how we can support you, and so we can work together hand in hand.
I agree. Thank you so much. Rawan, anything to add?
No, that's it. I'm going to post the email accounts for me and Layal for technical support and info@Wellspring for any queries.
Thank you so much, everyone. You know, most of us really don't show a lot, but I know Rawan has been holding us all together with all the technology support. So each one on this call really, for me, is like, I can't imagine getting to this point without them. So thank you so much. Thank you, parents. You've been a great support, and we hope we can continue to work together. I will have the coffee meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. if you're interested. And we are going, Ms. Ala is going to join us, and we're going to be talking more about asynchronous assignments and answer your questions, because I know some of you had some questions. So if you'd like to share the word about this session, I'm sure many parents probably will be interested in joining. We will be repeating it on next Tuesday at 5 p.m. as well, so you can choose morning or afternoon. Have a good evening, and I will see you hopefully all soon. Bye.
Thank you.